いやいえはおらうはえかもすらや
Welcome to the Kaiju Podcast. I'm Ralph.
I'm Jorge.
And today we are talking about Rebirth of Mothra 3.
1998.
Yeah, 1 year before The Phantom Menace. Which is...
Interesting.
Yeah, just based on the CG.
It's a different standard to judge it against.
Yeah. Yeah, just the CG looks so primitive. That was the first time I went to IMDb. I'm like, what year was this? I want to know what the CG. It wasn't good, but it wasn't like as bad as we've seen. But
yeah, it was just like budget CD. Yeah, this is a budget,
Yeah, we've been. I guess. I think this is the final one we've been dreading.
But you said that Word on the Street was the best of the three, and I gotta say it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't actually that bad. Like, even with the low bar set by the other two, I feel like this was pretty entertaining all the way through.
Quite tolerable.
Yeah, it was funny because the very beginning of the movie, like, all these kids disappear. And like the problem with the last two have been like annoying kids. You're following these annoying kids. I'm like, oh cool, there's no kids. But then they all get sent into one place. And so I was like, oh shit, it's like all the kids in one spot in the movie. But it wasn't that bad. In fact, like the one kid we do follow is like incredibly low energy.
Yeah.
So, which is its own set of problems, but not that much. But yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah, so that thing at the beginning was a flashback to, I mean, what was it, like ancient times? I mean, there was something that was weird, where they all get the swords, the special jewels, and they kind of discover that different ones go on different swords.
Yeah.
And when you put it for your sword gets a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. And lights up.
Yeah, and it's like but it's got to be in the right sword. And there's kind of a mix up where one of them leaves with the wrong sword.
Right. And they discover, she's probably has the one that goes with yours. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny how like the sword gets a little longer, and then when you take it out, the sword goes back to its the regular length, which is like it's like small, like a dagger or whatever. It's like
it's not even like a cool difference.
Just a little bit.
It's not like it's like a switchblade where you can totally conceal it.
No.
And it doesn't get, I mean, it gets like what, maybe a foot longer?
Yeah, just like just enough, just a little bit, and be like, so you can get them from a little bit further away.
Right.
There's also that big key, that weird key at the beginning that opened up the contraption thing down there.
Yeah, based on that key, you can kind of tell like the budget of the movie. It kind of looked goofy, and then the way it went into the keyhole was like kind of shaky and off. Like everything felt very.
You got to hold it steady to make it look like it's doing its job.
And it didn't get out steady.
But the announcement that the King of Terror is coming was pretty good.
Yeah,
kind of was a nice tone.
Yeah,
and then you see, and you're like, that looks like King Ghidorah. That's King Ghidorah,
right?
And then, sure enough, it is.
Well, in the last movie, we had a creature that kind of looked like King Ghidorah, but his name was something else.
Yeah, the Death Ghidorah.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh well, it's cool because it's not just some random, kaiju, and then we had like the mini one that she rides on where it looks like a King Ghidorah dragon, but it's just the one head. And so you're like, oh, okay, but this is like actually King Ghidorah, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
And they do some cool things with it, that they haven't done in other movies. So, because usually we only see King Ghidorah walking, or a separate King Ghidorah prop flying.
Right.
I don't know if the transition from one to the other looks great in this, but it's cool that they tried.
Yeah, it's definitely like him. It's like he's falling forward into flying in a way.
Right.
It's very like tippy-toe, and then he's got it.
Right.
It's like you used to watch like those nature documentaries or The Rescuers, where you would see the albatross taking off and landing, and it is just looks so sloppy, and then like, oh, but finally they're in the air, they got it.
Right.
There's a shot of the dad, and he's got a baseball cap on a watermelon.
Yeah.
And I had to look this up. That is pre-Wilson from Castaway. This is before that. Cool. By the way, did you check out the vegetable characters on his truck?
No.
Oh, they're pretty great.
Okay.
It's like a cartoon broccoli, a cartoon potato, a cartoon tomato, and maybe a carrot. I forget. But there's a part when like they're walking out of the house at the beginning where they're walking along the side of the truck, and you get a really good look at them.
All right, I'll have to look that up too.
Yeah.
It's 16 minutes. We get the Mothra song. And I'm like, okay, that's cool that we're getting Mothra. We've already had King Ghidorah, but we've seen like the fairy Mothra. But I'm like, okay, cool that Mothra's going to show up early. But then I'm like, oh no, is it just going to be like Mothra fatigue? Like we're going to watch like for the next, hour and 15 minutes of just nonstop Mothra fighting. And we kind of do, but it's not that bad.
Yeah,
they do a little bit
like,
more in this movie.
It's called Rebirth of Mothra, but you don't think she's gonna die and then come back, and then she does it. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah, but like real early on, Mothra gets stomped on hard, and pretty much is down for the count. And I'm like, oh man, they're really gonna do the rebirth quick, But before that happens, we need to talk about Infant Island. Mm-hmm. The first time we see it, a couple of shots are cool because it almost looks like it's from the 60s. Like it looks like composite shots or matte paintings with like the bright flowers and stuff. So I appreciated that. The other thing is the dinosaurs.
Even back in time?
So is that back in time? I thought that was just going on now.
No.
That was the flashback.
No. Well, Mothra went back in time.
Okay.
Did you miss this part? Did you not get that part?
I might have missed that part.
Okay, so when there's that big like meteor like thing, the big thing that crashes into the earth and leaves like a glowing purple area. And then they go there, and Fairy has some special antenna scan that she can apparently scan stuff. And they're like, oh, there's like dinosaur parts in it, essentially. There's part dinosaur in this piece. And they kind of explain that this thing, which ends up being King Ghidorah, is what killed off the dinosaurs. That's basically what the mythology of this particular movie proposes, let's say.
Which is kind of similar to Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019. Like those, like he was around like billions of years ago Titans. And then died, got,
So what happens then is after Mothra gets her ass kicked, and then there's like, is it Mole? The one who turns into crystal?
Yes, she's the red one.
Yeah, so Mole does she does a special thing to support Mothra, essentially giving her all of her power, which is what turns her into the crystal. Mm-hmm. Into like a Sleeping Beauty kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so or Snow White when she's in the glass.
Yeah, which I kind of like that effect. like the little like scaly.
But
It's definitely
it's
CG.
But it's definitely like when she came out of it, they just ran the footage in reverse.
Right.
But so that makes Mothra, which I found out it was referred to as Speed of Light Mothra.
That's the X-Wing one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the Mothra that goes back in time.
And was that footage from... That was footage from Mothra 2, I think? Do you think it was the same?
Speed of Light Mothra?
Yeah. It felt like it.
I don't remember. But so Mothra goes back in time to defeat King Ghidorah back there.
Right.
Which I was like, okay, but he kicked your ass now.
Yeah.
And what makes you think he's not going to kick your ass then?
Yeah.
But we got to see dinosaur stuff, and there's like
I don't know. It's so weird because the amount of talk of like puppet people and little models and how much we love it. It's funny how here we have a whole land of dinosaurs that are obviously like tiny puppets, but I just don't know if I love it or if I hate it.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, did you?
Loved it. First of all, it came out, and it's like that thing. Like I love it when like the dinosaur era and the sky is red. It's like on the Disneyland ride. That one shot. It's just red lighting, and it's just everything's very like.
Or like Fantasia.
It's like volcanoes are everywhere.
Yeah.
And
volcanoes, palm trees, and dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's so great. And so then, there's great like T-Rex and Triceratops thing, and the T-Rex is like just chomping on his back.
Yeah, at first I didn't know if they were fighting or doing something else. It was very thrusty.
He was trying to eat him. But then there's also a great moment when King Ghidorah shows up.
Oh,
and the Triceratops and the T-Rex kind of like do like a take to each other. They like look at each other like, well, I don't know. Kind of like there's this. Man, it was. I like that one.
Yeah, it was funny because it definitely felt like puppets. It wasn't people in suits like we saw in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah from like 1993 ish, where they had like a T-Rex, but it was a guy in a suit. But this was kind of cool because they just had like you could tell that they had to make like a ton of tiny palm trees, just a ton of them.
Yeah,
and there's some shots that look real good, but there's like a POV shot of Mothra flying through, or King Ghidorah flying through. I think it was Mothra flying through, where it literally looked like a kid's diorama from like science class.
Yeah. They did it really well. I think. Well, it's like because like when Mothra had to go back in time, at first Mothra just starts flying, and you're like going, "Oh, is it gonna do like the Superman movie thing where it's gonna fly around the Earth a whole bunch of times, and the Earth is gonna start rotating the other way?" And I was like, we got to go millions of years if that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But then no, he just turned into like CGI Mothra.
Yeah. That was the one where he is like X-Wings in the last one. It was either the last one or the first one, where there's a bunch of little Mothra X-Wings fighting against. I forget what it was.
Right. Inside the body or something.
Yeah. Volcano models. Those are great.
Red like Disneyland. Dinosaur puppets.
CGI.
Oh, King Ghidorah with a T-Rex in his mouth.
Yes.
So good.
Yes, that was my favorite thing about the dinosaur stuff.
I was like, oh, is it kind of like Back to the Future rules, where he's going to be able to defeat King Ghidorah back then, and then King Ghidorah is going to disappear in the thing.
Maybe.
The tail getting cut off.
Yeah, that was cool.
It kind of like crawls away. It's like it starts like burying itself.
Yeah, and then the Triceratops and the T-Rex like start going after it. Like, oh, now we can beat it, or something. I don't know what they were doing, but
that's kind of like that's about the part where they suddenly did their kind of like their take to each other, being like, yeah, it's the kind of sense like let's pause on our rivalry to allow to deal with this guy. And then as I wrote, and then Mothra shows up, and it's basically a glitter fight.
Yeah, which is these movies have a lot of already. I guess if that's going to be like Mothra's sort of signature thing, you got to do it, but it's not. It doesn't seem tough. It's just glitter.
Right. She covers him with glitter and then dumps him in a volcano.
That dome that the kids were stuck in,
looked
cool in the far shots because it still was kind of moving around in CG. All the close-ups look very, very like 1990s off the shelf CG, but I did like the way it looked on the inside. It kind of had like a Matango feel.
I was like, the kid, like before they called it a dome in the movie, I was like, at first I was like, did the kids all get vaporized? And then you're like, oh no, they're all in this big gelatinous orb, and then they cut to the inside. It's like, where it's Christmas every day.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a forced fantasy. But it was cool because it kind of looked like it kind of just looked like a forest, but it had like some like fantasy elements, like crazy rock formations. Yeah, and then all the snow. But then the like blue ooze part, I thought was pretty fun.
Yeah, so that was like an acid-y thing because it seemed like it was burning. Things it came into contact with. That was later. That was like
nobody.
Oh, is that how he's going to kill the kids?
Was he killing the kids just to kill them? Was he eating them? What was he doing with the kids?
Well, I cheated. It appears that he's consuming them, but I think it's more like an absorb their essence kind of way.
Okay, which we've seen in these movies before. When the kids disappeared though, like out of the school, I'm like, oh, they like cut away and then cut back to an empty schoolroom. But then later the kids playing basketball where they like do this funny like
dematerialize like
an MTV effect, like where they swirl and digitize out of the picture.
It's like the kid in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that ends up on the TV.
Right.
He just kind of turns into little pixels and then disappears. Yeah. Yeah, when that first fight, part of Mothra is very much like a fighter jet because Mothra will like smoke before and then crash and explode and stuff. It's very much like getting shot down.
It always looks cool though. That's the thing.
This King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah had good heads.
Yeah,
the heads were cool looking. And there was a lot more of using heads as hands, I think, in this one. There's him grabbing Mothra by, the wings. First, it was like the two outer heads did it at one point, and then the middle and one outer head did it at one point as well. Just kind of grabbing him and like basically body slamming him.
Yeah, which they need to do more of because he doesn't have arms.
He's got a
yeah. So it makes sense. I thought the suit was kind of cool. It was seemed very like the torso was longer and the necks were shorter than normal. And a lot of running around, which I thought was kind of cool. We don't really see a lot of Ghidorah running around, and usually he's just like flying around static. But it was kind of neat that they actually hung the person suit.
Yeah, and dragged him.
Yeah, and dragged him around, which was fine. It adds some charm to it.
A CGI thing I wasn't too thrilled about were the earthworm tentacle things.
Yeah, the gummy worms.
Yeah,
yeah. They kind of held on to stuff cool, like when they wrapped around the Mothra head and the Mothra wings. Like it kind of stuck to the puppet, but it was still very CG, like glossy. Like early 90s sort of gummy worm looking.
Yeah.
Laura, the blue fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
like her.
She gets like possessed in a way when she came in close with King Ghidorah or made eye contact or something.
Yeah, she started to like choke out her sister on the.
She turned bad, and
kind of a fun twist.
So there's this part where then Mole has to convince Shota to go into the dome.
Yeah.
To basically get her to, so she can also help Mothra.
Yeah. And help his sister too. They both have sisters in there.
Right.
And that's kind of her selling point.
And she's like, listen, Laura loves the innocence of children. I think you can break the spell on her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, she's in a dome full of children.
Right.
So it hasn't broken yet. And I'm pretty sure these are all innocent children.
Yeah. Mothra gets stomped a lot in this.
Yeah, it does.
There's not really a rebirth, right? I mean, we see the larva and there's 3 of them, which I don't think we've ever seen 3 at once.
Right.
The most we usually see is 2. And they sort of revive the main Mothra.
Yeah, they cocoon, basically cocoon Mothra up.
But it doesn't, the Mothra doesn't fully die. It just kind of metamorphoses into the whatever. Do you know what the name of the last form is? Is it because they always have
officially?
Names.
No.
Yeah, it was like metallic. It's like a metallic Mothra.
Oh, okay, but then there's one after that where it's basically the same Mothra. Like, yeah, there's like because like when
it changes
Mothra
many times.
Mothra came back and had like armor, basically.
Oh, is there one called Armor Mothra?
I don't know.
I think I remember reading about that.
And yeah, so because it had armor, and then the armor went away later, and I was like, oh, so it's like, and it was kind of like I was just calling it like Blondie Mothra.
Yes, the sort of like mostly white, but with the blue and the yellow.
But the wings are cool. Wings had kind of nice jaggedy. It had like almost like a little frill thing on the ends of it.
Yeah, I think this is Mothra Leo, who was in the last one.
Mothra Leo is the one is who we start with. Maybe
there is an Armor Mothra, so that's Armor Mothra, the one that's all silver. But I kind of, even though it's CG, I thought it was probably the best CG in the movie was the clear wings. I thought that looked really neat. Like the sort of glass-looking wings when they came out. You know which one I'm talking about? Like when it metamorphoses and turns into the silver with like the metal wings. I'm like, oh, it's CG, but it looks good. But it's like a coloring book. Because you see like the outlines of the the wings pattern, and then they fill in. I'm like, oh, I kind of liked it clear. It kind of had a really cool look. I think like a clear Mothra would be neat and like hard to track flying in the sky. But
based on this, they say that it starts with a rainbow Mothra, and when she goes back in time, she has turned into Aqua Mothra, which was like the flying fish Mothra,
right?
Which then turns. When she gets the power from Mole, she can turn into Lightspeed Mothra.
Okay.
And yeah, they do refer to it as Rainbow Mothra emerges this time as Armor Mothra.
Right. And I kind of had a metallic look, but it would still just look like paint. Like it would be kind of neat if it was like chrome or something. Like they actually chromed out a Mothra suit. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would look stupid or cool. I wasn't too keen on the Armor Mothra. I did like the see-through wings though, when it first came out. But
I liked Armor Mothra. I liked the wings on Armor Mothra. I like they because they looked almost like feathers.
Oh, and then it looked like that the legs of Mothra were tucked in, and there's like armor plating covering them. Did you notice that? Like the Armor Mothra didn't have dangly legs. I don't think. I'm gonna double check because it almost looked like they were in a like when the Batmobile in the '89 Batman does its shields. Yeah, if you look at the chest of Armor Mothra, there's like it's like hardened and it's covering all the dangly feet.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, you know what? I kind of like the Iron Mothra. I'm looking at it now, and I like that how the front of the wings are metallic.
The wings are cool,
and then the back half. Yeah, that's actually. Yeah, I really actually like that a lot. It's it's a cool design. It makes them more threatening. Like it looks like the wings could really like slice through something.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's that part. There's a part where you notice that King Ghidorah's wing is ripped.
Right.
And I was like, "Oops, did they mess up the costume?" And then later they take the wing completely off.
Yeah.
So then it's like it could be that that was their plan all along, and they had it ready to go, and they went early, or they went, "Oh, great, we ripped his wing off. Might as well just take it all off and make that part of it."
Yeah.
And so then she basically, as the final move, the kill move, just basically flies through him.
Mm-hmm.
And then
he flies
pauses.
Up and explodes.
Yeah, but she flies through and does this thing where she waits. Like it's almost like the sword against the candelabra, and then
yeah,
which is kind of like it's like the one move, or like reaching, pulling the heart out, and the guy is still alive for a second before he realizes.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, I called her Battle Mothra.
I think it's neat. Do you have this as a toy? Do they have it as a toy? I'm assuming the whole point of these movies is to make as many Mothra variants as you can to sell them. I
have regular, like, old school Mothras, and I have Mothra Leo or whatever, Rainbow Mothra. I have one of those. I don't have this Mothra, or I know I don't.
Lightspeed Mothra.
Yeah, I mean,
Lightspeed Mothra's kind of lame. I like the big wings, and the Lightspeed just looks like an X-wing. But this, I'm looking at this.
Yeah, but Lightspeed Mothra doesn't seem to exist in the real world ever.
Right.
It only exists in CGI.
Right. Yeah, this guy's actually really cool. I might have to look into seeing if they made a toy of that Mothra.
I was sitting there and then it's like over.
Right.
And I was like, what was this note? Because I had a note about encore action, and I was like, what is that? And I was like, oh yeah, that's because like that was the version we were watching.
Oh yeah, it had the.
It's like at the closing credits, it's like, up next, Predator 2.
Right.
But I was like in my head, I was going, I'm just waiting for like Shota to be like, okay, I'm ready to go to school again.
Yeah, the post battle sequence was a while. It took a while, but
yeah, so much looking for kids.
Yeah,
they had a lot of kids. It seemed like they had a lot of extras kids, just like when they're running down the hill.
They probably
a lot of family reunions.
They probably just sent out a thing saying, "Hey, if you want to be in a Mothra movie,
who doesn't want to be in a Mothra movie?
Yeah, bring your kids down." So it's like, cool. What is that? They give them a beer and a sandwich, and they'll work for the day. Yeah, I like this movie. I mean, I'm not going to rush out and watch it again, but it's a good way to end the Rebirth of Mothra series on a positive note. I think it took us like 3 years to get through these 3 movies. Way better than Daimajin 3. I feel like, even though I kind of like Daimajin 3, but I feel like this was a better. This was a lot more bearable.
Yeah.
Compared to the other 2. The jump in quality, I think, was leaps and bounds compared to the other 2. even though like Dimension 3 felt like just more of the same. So this is like they almost listened to what we talked about and took notes. It was nice. There was less. I mean, there was still CG in it, and when they're riding around on the ferry, on the Mothra ferry, and the little dragon, like they still do that sort of CG flying around, like just sliding the footage around. There's a little bit of that, but there wasn't as much. I thought some of the stuff where they integrated the little fairy Mothra in with the kid, like sometimes I didn't know if they just had one on set or if it was Compton later. Like there was a couple of good shots, and I feel like it was shot, the way it looked kind of felt more like a 60s Toho movie than a 90s Toho movie. A lot of like the whole dome set, where it's like a set of a forest, feels very 60s, which was kind of cool. Yeah, I liked it. And dinosaurs. It's funny how little dinosaurs get into these movies we watch. Like you have like your King Kong movies, and then like one of the Godzilla movies has like dinosaurs, or maybe like giant behemoth, but that's it. It's like not. So it's fun. Yeah, there needs to be more dinosaurs just showing up in these movies. Yeah, I wonder if there's one out there. Like, is there a good dinosaur movie that just has like nothing but like volcanoes, palm trees, and dinosaurs? I'm sure we'd be able to find something, but
I mean, there's some black and white ones, but
right, yeah, I think
they're all going to have people in them.
Right. What were you watching? We were watching. Shoot, it was a Toho movie, and the Americanized version had the TV screen. We just watched it.
Yeah,
with the guys, it looked like three dudes in a dinosaur suit. I think when we were tracking down what that movie was, we came across some fun dinosaur movies. So maybe we should look into that, because we have a couple of question marks coming up on our list. We'll have to go back and check through text messages and find out, like, if there's
which
some
was the
really
movies
good,
that we were talking about.
Yeah, which is like some really good dinosaur movies. I know, like, was it the Lost World has some kind of issues, and it's old and might not be that fun.
Yeah, that has some issues.
But I think there's stuff. There was a couple that I think we could check out possibly, but because this movie put me in the mood for that. Yeah, that's
I like that stuff.
Yeah. Like that's my favorite part of Fantasia, the old Disney movie, was the dinosaur sequence. Yeah, lava and palm trees.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Do you have any more thoughts on Rebirth of Mothra 3 or the series on a whole? Like, we did it. We finished it. I'm glad.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely. This one wasn't so bad. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Still doesn't change your opinion on Mothra, the character.
No, I mean, I like Mothra.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. It kind of makes me like old Mothra more in a way. I feel like I enjoyed part of the whole deal about her was like before all Mothra could do was flap her wings and blow cars around.
Yeah, and
it was like, all right, it's fine, it's Mothra. This Mothra, I think, does too much. There's chest lasers, there's head lasers, like there's right. Too many things going on.
I think before we're done, we have two more Mothra movies. We have the original Godzilla versus Mothra. I'm excited.
Which has to be great.
It's great,
right?
Yeah, it's
has
great.
To be great.
Oh yeah, it's totally great. And then we have, oh shoot, I forget what it's called, but it's from the 90s. It's like, I'm sure anyone could look it up. There's no reason for me to stall and try to think of it.
Okay.
But it's the one with Batra.
Oh yeah, I've been looking forward to seeing him in action.
Yeah. And so that's it. Those are the two we have. So
Yeah, so I was looking at where this was in the Mothra. This is pre Mothra of the GMK.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because GMK was a third or fourth post-millennium one, and this is 98.
Yeah, because I was also looking at the King Ghidorah and being like, "Going, this is a new? I think it was a new King Ghidorah head, like the heads didn't look like the old movies.
Yeah,
I don't think they recycled the old costume.
No. So I looked up the Mothra from 1992, and I realized why I don't remember the name of it. It's called Godzilla vs. Mothra. So, our two Mothra movies are named the same thing.
Really?
Yeah. And then, but I think the version I have with the American dub for the 60s one is called Godzilla vs. the Thing.
Oh. But
they refer to her as Mothra throughout the movie. So, I think that's just an American title. We'll have to make sure we get the optimum version. I think you have that set, right? You have the box set?
It's probably in that set. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be in that box set. Well, I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah.
And I'm glad this one wasn't just another...
This did a lot. It didn't make up for the previous two right. at all. Yeah. This one definitely felt like it took itself more seriously than the other two right. in some ways. Like
it grew up with its audience? Maybe
kinda, yeah.
This was more like for teenagers.
Even the character of Belmyra was that her name?
The black one.
Yeah, the evil sister. Even her, she was a lot more toned down.
Right.
Of a character.
She did kick her dragon once.
She did one kick, yeah. But by now we already know it's a robot dragon.
Yeah. But still.
So you don't feel as bad.
Yeah. All right. Next episode. I mean, it's not even real to begin with.
Do they make Mothra kites?
Oh, they have to. Did we look this up? Did we look this up? I think we looked this up. I think they have to.
They have to, right?
They're not. Yeah, they have to. They have to make them of all these and a Gamera, right?
Ooh, King Ghidorah kite would be cool too.
Yeah, with the big tails, like make the tails of the kite, and make the heads wobble around crazy like the 70s.
I don't see an actual real kite.
No, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, but this is just obviously quick cursory Googling during the show. Which
is that a thing that's going on now, by the way? Kite flying?
Oh, you mean because of isolation and all that business?
Yeah. Are we still in isolation? Yeah, by the time this one airs.
But I found this is pretty good.
Okay, I'm doing this. Oh.
It's an image of...
It's
Ultraman and another of the Ultraman people, and they're flying Mothra as a kite and King Ghidorah as a kite.
I mean, there's got to be a way to like remotely be able to drop glitter from your Mothra kite.
Oh, that's a great idea.
They've got it. Someone had to have made one.
Just glitter gun bomb people.
Yeah.
Oh man, that reminds me. Speaking of glitter, there's that video. There's that guy put out that video about like how to like wash your groceries when you get them home now during this whole pandemic thing, and it's like imagine everything's covered in glitter, and you want to get the glitter, you want to clean off the glitter without getting glitter on you or on your like all over your house, and so that was like the part of the tip.
Ugh. All right. Just the thought of that is awful.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's talk about our next episode.
Yes.
Which came in as a suggestion on our YouTube page. Someone had said, if you have room to watch this next one. And we are watching 2 Million Miles to Earth.
20, isn't it 20?
Oh, 20 million, sorry. Well, I did some research, and where they go, it's not 20 either. So, okay.
Oh, that's a good question. You looked up how far it is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we're watching 20 Million Miles to Earth. Hoping we can get that link up on kaijupod.com. If not, we'll provide links where you can stream that from. If I can't get that on there, because I seem like the American version or the American movies are a little tougher to find streaming for free. So I'm sure we can probably find a spot to point you in the right direction. But yeah, go to kaijupod.com. That'll give you links to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube page. And until next time.
Oh boy!
I mean, like, can you just walk out of the dome? Because if you can, the kid just like walked into the dome. This is like a one-way street.
No, the kid didn't walk in. He taunted King Ghidorah,
right,
to put him in the dome.
Got it. Oh, nice.
I think you could drop through the top. There's maybe there's a hole in the top. Let the light shine in. Because it couldn't just walk out because Elmira had to do some sparky hits with her sword when she combined the swords.
Right.
Putting all three swords together.
Yeah, I kind of just want to travel back in time and go to
dinosaur
times, huh?
Yeah.
Because they didn't seem threatening.
Good old-timey puppet dinosaurs.
Yeah, they didn't seem real threatening.
It's like it kind of almost has that kind of notion, like when they do when they used to do bits in old cartoons where it's like it'll be like, I mean, this isn't a real example, but it's essentially the thing would be like a lion and like a gazelle, and they both clock into work and they're like doing the card, and then they start chasing each other.
Yeah,
it's like that kind of thing.
That was great. Okay, yeah, let's go to dinosaur times.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. See ya.
We'll both do the same thing this time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's great. It's weird, though. I just
want to go see the dinosaur puppet show. I want to just see that. Just go to that set.
I mean, we can make one, right? We got the time.
Oh, we got nothing but time.
I don't have dinosaur puppets, but or toys, but I have that old Godzilla with like the silver fins and the little tongue. I don't know who makes this, but the classic Godzilla toy. I don't know.
The classic?
It's like a not the Shogun one, but it's like I'll have to just show you.
All right.
But he looks like a dinosaur toy. I'm actually going to text this to you. Internet's been slow.
Because everyone's on it right now.
Right. I'm glad Skype's working.
Yeah, it was smooth. Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah, I've seen that guy.
That guy. I don't know who makes it, or there's no identifying marks on a year.
Looks like he should squeak when you squeeze him. Is he hollow inside?
He's a real hard plastic.
Oh, he is. Oh, okay. It looks like he's soft rubber.
He's like the Bandai toys.
Okay.
It's like a vinyl or something. PVC. I don't know.
What's the chunky Godzilla in the background next to the Kong?
Chunky Godzilla. Which one? Next to the.
Look, if you look in
my picture.
If you look in your photograph, there's.
It's a Funko. I have two Funkos.
Wait,
did you give me one?
Is it the same as the blue-eyed one?
Yeah, it's the same as the blue, but he's regular colors.
He just looks like he looks bigger than the blue one from there. It looks like he's got big fat legs, which he does.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know when I stopped that show, but it's still recording, so who knows what's in there. All right. All right.